Nandikori Vaishnava Nikije, Namacharya Shradas Thakur Kije, Skandi Viti Vanacharya Divine Vaishnava Robari Kije, Prames the Ghost Krishna Jade and Murchananda Siddhi Radha Sivasri Govakti Kije, Shri Radha Krishna Gopu Gopinath Shamakanda Radha Kandagiri Vadani Kije, Mathuradam Kije, Avadikam Kije, Natpuradam Kije, Natswami Kije, Vrindavadam Kije, Mayapurdam Kije, Bhakti Devi Kije, Tulsimarani Kije, Gangamai Kije, Jamunamai Kije, Go Premanandi Ayurva. Samveda Bhakti Vindiki Jai, all glories from the devotees, all glories from the devotees, all glories from the devotees, all glories, Sri Guru Garamba, all glories, Divine Grace Sarabad. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavad Gita is chapter 4, text number 41. Yoga Sanyasta Karmanam Jnana Sanchina Samshayam Atmavantam Na Karmani Nibadnanti Dhananjaya Yoga Sanyasta Karmanam Yoga Sanyasta Karmanam Jnana Sanchina Samshayam Jnana Sanchina Samshayam Atmavantam Na Karmani Atmavantam Na Karmani Nibadnanti Dhananjaya Nibadnanti Dhananjaya Yoga Sanyasta Karmanam Jnana Sanchina Samshayam Atmavantam Na Karmani Nibadnanti Dhananjaya
Yoga Sanyasta Karmanam Jnana Sanchina
Devotional service in Karma Yoga. Sanyasta One who has renounced karmanam, the fruits of actions, jnana, by knowledge, sanchinna, cut, samsayam, doubts, atmavantam, situated in the self, na, never, karmani, works, nibadnanti, do bind, dhananjaya, O conqueror of riches. Translation. One who acts in devotional service, renouncing the fruits of his actions, and whose doubts have been destroyed by transcendental knowledge, is situated factually in the self. Thus he is not bound by the reactions of work, O conqueror of riches. Purport. One who follows the instruction of the Bhagavad Gita as it is imparted by the Lord, the personality of Godhead himself, becomes free from all doubts by the grace of transcendental knowledge. He, as a part and parcel of the Lord in full Krishna consciousness, is already established in self-knowledge. As such, he is undoubtedly above bondage to action. Yoga sanyasta karmanam jnana sanchinna samshayam atmavantam na karmani nabadnanti dhananjaya. One who acts in devotional service, renouncing the fruits of his actions, and whose doubts have been destroyed by transcendental knowledge, is situated factually in the self. Thus he is not bound by the reactions of work, O conqueror of riches. So the first element in this verse is that yoga sannyasta karmanam. One who has renounced the fruits of his actions. Now you may ask, why does Srila Prabhupada use the understanding of karma yoga here when he speaks of yoga? That is because the whole line is yoga sannyasta karmanam, where, or the whole part of this four quatrains of the verse, means giving up the fruits of actions. That's karma yoga. Therefore it makes perfect sense that Prabhupada will say, when he speaks of the translation of yoga, by devotional service and karma yoga. Now Krishna has been speaking about devotional service throughout the 4th chapter. That transcendental knowledge leads one to devotional service. Otherwise, why should one surrender to a guru? What is the use of engaging in these activities of transcendental knowledge if they do not culminate in devotional service? Or as Narada Muni has said, Bhagavad Bhakti Hinasya Jati Shastram Japa Tapa Apranasya Dehasya Mandanam Lokaranjana. This is a very nice verse that Narada Muni has spoken, because it explains exactly this point, which Krishna has been making steadily throughout the 4th chapter. That without devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavad Bhakti Hinasya, without devotional service to Krishna, then you may be decorated with so many wonderful qualities. You may be very renounced. You may be very learned in the Shastras. You may be chanting japa of various kinds. There are all kinds of japa recommended in the Shastras. And you may be engaged in tapasya or austerities. But all of this, without devotional service to the Lord, is just like decoration of a dead body. The people in general, they decorate dead bodies very nicely. When a body dies, the dead body is taken care of very nicely. Even in the Western countries, this is so. In the Western countries, we have morticians in the funeral homes. They do all kinds of nasty things to the body so that it preserves for a few days. Give it all kinds of makeup and creams and this and that so it looks halfway decent. And they put it on display in a nice wooden case, or if you're more rich, a nice metal case. And everybody comes and pays their respects to the dead body. In India, they do it a little bit more gloriously. They put oil all over the dead body, and nice garments, silken garments sometimes. And sometimes the ornaments from the dead body when it was a living body, they decorate it very nicely with flower garland. Very nice flower garland. And then they go in procession with the dead body, here and there, chanting the names of God. But ultimately, all this decoration of the dead body is simply a complete waste. Because what are you going to do with the dead body? Well, you're going to, in the West, you're going to bury it, like the Malechas do. And in India, you're going to burn it with all the nice decorations. So what is the use? What is the use of decorating the dead body? Therefore, Narada Muni says that any activity that is devoid of Bhagavad Bhakti, Bhakti Yoga, is merely decoration of the dead body. Bhakti Yoga is so important. It is the real nature of the living entity in his eternal constitutional position. After all, this knowledge has come directly from the Lord, and the Lord knows what is the eternal constitutional position of the living entity. That the knowledge has come directly from the Lord is stated in the Bhagavatam, Dharman tu shakshat bhagavat pranitam. Dharma, or real knowledge, comes directly from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the originator of knowledge. This is also stated by the Yamadutas of all people. Veda pranito dharmo hyadharmastad viparjaya Veda narayana shakshat swayambhu iti shusha. They said that the Vedic knowledge is dharma. And that which is not Vedic knowledge, or anything against Vedic knowledge, is adharma. Unwanted activity. And this Veda has come directly from the breathing of Narayan. It is self-born. Comes directly from the original person. It is not coming from some ordinary person, as sometimes the materialistic scholars would like us to believe. They would like us to believe that Vedic knowledge has come from a group of some brahmanas somewhere who sat down and tried to figure out how to keep the people in ignorance so that they could be in charge of the society. This is the mundane scholars' point of view. Not all of them, just some real fools and rascals. This was especially the point of view during the time of the British occupation of India. The British scholars and German scholars, some of them, they got together and they tried to show everybody that the Indians were just ignorant brutes who had a totally ridiculous philosophy. Srila Prabhupada, of course, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, of course, in relationship with the British, smashed that conception. when even the greatest British scholars used to come and visit him, he used to speak in such a manner that they were totally bewildered. They couldn't understand one word he was saying because it was so highly elevated knowledge. All they could do was surrender. And then Srila Prabhupada gave so many nice explanations in his books that nobody thinks Vedic knowledge is meant for some brutes or uncivilized men. Nobody thinks that anymore. That everybody respects. Even now in America, Ayurvedic knowledge, which was formerly unknown, is becoming very much respected amongst the people in general, especially for dietary knowledge and how to live. People are very much interested in Ayurveda. Even ordinary people are interested in it now. So, Vedic knowledge comes from Krishna. All the different forms of the Vedas, the Rik, Sama, Yajus, and Atharva Vedas, they all come from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the other literatures, which are the Upavedas and the Smritis, like Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita, and the Puranas, including Srimad Bhagavatam, Itihasas, and all these different forms of knowledge, Vedic knowledge. They all descend either by the Lord himself or by his pure representatives or incarnations such as Vyasadeva. All this Vedic knowledge comes only through the Lord. Vyasadeva is a literary incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, seeing that people were bewildered, Anartha Pachamam Shakshat Bhakti Yoga Dhoksaje Lokasya Janato Vidvams Chakre Sattva Samhita. The people of this world were bewildered. Vyasadeva saw that. Yaya Samokito Jiva Atmanam Trigunatmakam. He saw that. They didn't understand the nature of the existence in this world. They couldn't understand how the three modes of material nature were controlling everything. They couldn't understand how everything that is happening to them, all these things which are born of the modes of material nature, were actually external to them. They were not part and parcel of their original nature. They couldn't understand that. Therefore, Vyasadeva, out of his compassion for the conditioned souls, presented this Vedic literature, which is Sattvata Samhita, which is the purest knowledge in the highest transcendental modes of nature, highest transcendental mode of transcendental nature, pure goodness, Shuddha Sattva. Sattvam Vishuddham Vasudeva Shabdita. This is the nature of the transcendental knowledge, which is so sublime that anyone who takes shelter of this transcendental knowledge will have all of his bondage to actions completely cut. That is what Krishna says in this verse. Na karmani nabadnanti. Never do works bind one to this material world. This understanding is easily available through Bhagavad Gita. Krishna speaking about karma yoga in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita. He just spoke about it in the third chapter. He spoke about karma, the activities of the living entity in renunciation. Then, and this is the second to last verse in this chapter, one verse more after this, he will start speaking about karma yoga, action and Krishna consciousness. Krishna is not just speaking here about some mere jnana. He's speaking here about knowledge which brings one to the platform of action. But not just any old action. Action in Krishna consciousness. Krishna is leading Arjuna to a certain conclusion. Because Arjuna said he did not want to fight. So Krishna, his job in this Bhagavad Gita, Jai Shri Shikandara Vigavita Hari Pujaya, is to convince Arjuna to fight. But not only to convince Arjuna to fight, but to convince all of us to act according to our prescribed duties. That's the whole point of Bhagavad Gita. You have a duty. That duty may be given according to your nature or may be given by your spiritual master. Actually, there will not be much difference. And you have to act according to that duty and accomplish that duty. That is your mission in life. So, how to do that? When you get transcendental knowledge, you will understand the order of the spiritual master is the most important mission. You have to take the order of the spiritual master on your head. It is very essential for attaining success in spiritual life. Make your life simply to satisfy your spiritual master. He may tell you to do something, he may not tell you to do something. You may just know it is his desire. That is sufficient to rule the life of a devotee. After all, the first-class servant performs the activities for the sake of the master even before he asks for it. And it's the second-class servant who does what he's told to do. You would think servants should be doing what he's told to do. But the first-class servant does what the master wants even before asking. Just like Krishna's internal energy is Krishna's servant. And it automatically arranges everything that Krishna wants. Before, Krishna does not have to ask. Krishna does not have to ask for the Sharat season to arrive with the full moon to make the beautiful reddish glow in the nighttime, with the springtime breezes. He didn't have to ask that all to happen before the rasa dance took place. It all happened automatically. Krishna's internal potency made all the arrangements. Similarly, the servants of Krishna, they go about their business doing whatever Krishna wants. They never ask. They have never asked, Krishna, what do you want? They know immediately what he wants and do it for them. Him. And all the great servants in the past have acted like that. So if you really want to be a good servant of your spiritual master, you should understand what he wants and just do it. There's no question of waiting to be told, what do you want me to do? So many times you've heard what should be done. So you should do it. We are trying here in this Krishna conscious society to set up an institution in such a way that people may easily enter into it without discomfort and accept Krishna consciousness and come to the platform of becoming pure devotees, so that they may actually do the greatest benefit for the people of this world by preaching this Krishna consciousness movement purely. This is what is wanted. Of course, the best thing would be if everybody in Scandinavia were just going out distributing books. We just had one blogger somewhere, but that's not going to happen for some reason or another. So therefore we'll go another way, touch the nose around the back of the head. Hope that we can attract some new people here to come to also distribute these literatures somehow. That is our secret desire. That maybe another 20 Swedish people will join. Instead of being absorbed in various services, they will just go right out, distribute these books like mad. But we have to pray to Krishna for that. If we all pray to Krishna for that, maybe Krishna will reciprocate with us like that. Maybe not. But it's a hope anyway. That's our hope. Give a hope. God, your hope springs eternal, you know. You can always hope. If you got nothing else, no money, no brain, no facilities, nothing, you can always hope. It doesn't cost anything. It takes no effort. You just hope. But just sitting around and hoping is not enough. Just like Queen Rukmini. She was hoping that Krishna would come and kidnap her and take her away from Shishupal. But she said, but being a princess, and being the daughter of a king, a Kshatriya, she knew that sitting around and hoping is useless. You got to actually make some arrangement, do something. God helps those who help themselves. You sit around and hope all day, it's not like things are going to fall from the sky on your head. Oh, I hope I'm going to become smart. All of a sudden, brain falls on your head. It doesn't work like that. You have to go out and get some knowledge. You have to try, get some knowledge. Do something. Do some austerities. Get prepared for what you need to get. If you want to get some money, you have to prepare. You have to make some business. Set it up very nicely. And arrange it with proper understanding so that money will come. And then if Krishna blesses you, so much money will come. If Krishna doesn't bless you, even if it's the best arranged business in the world, nothing will come. But you've got to endeavor. It's like if you want to make a nice feast. Just like our glorious kitchen department here in Korsnas. Always making wonderful feasts. So, what do? Do they come into the kitchen in the morning and sit down on the floor and meditate? Let there be a feast. Or do they start picking up the pots and moving them around and picking up the vegetables and cutting them up and putting the spices in the ghee, and they work. You've got to do something. You can't be lazy. I've noticed there's a slight tendency to become more lazy lately. But this is not very good. We have to work for Krishna. Can't be lazy around here. Think, oh, Korsnas is such a nice place. Then we can just sit around all day. Or do 2 hours of work and then go lay down in the brahmacharya ashram or whatever we do, or wherever it is that we're hiding in our offices or whatever. We've got to make books here. Got to work hard. Produce. And we've got to, of course, we make this place nice. Those who are in the make the place nice department have to make the place nice. Get to work. And those who are in the kitchen department, gotta cook. Pujari department, gotta clean the altar, gotta make the deities look nice. Of course, they look beautiful no matter what you do. But you can try to make them even more attractive, just like a diamond in a proper setting looks more attractive. We've got to do things here. Can't be lazy. This is the point. Arjuna can't just sit down on the chariot and start crying and say, all right, I'm not going to fight. I'm going to become lazy here and go to the forest. Krishna's not going to take that. Krishna's not going to tolerate that. That you just sit back and say, all right, Bhima, he can fight the battle. They don't need me. No, it's his duty. He's got to fight. It's time to act, not to sit back. We've got to act here. Arjuna had to act. And the whole point of Bhagavad Gita was for action. We've got to have some action here. I don't see so many books on that board back there. We need more action. Got to offer a pile of books to Prabhupada, then he's happy. Can't offer him just a couple of paperback books. What is this nonsense? Got to have some action. Big books. I thought I'd just dovetail a few of my latest thoughts with the Bhagavad Gita verse, because one who acts in devotional service, renouncing the fruits of his actions. Not that you sit back and think, oh, I have made a book. Congratulations, me. I am just so glorious. No. I have to work. Every day. All right, one book done. Next. I used to drive some of my managers crazy sometimes. Whenever they used to have a meeting with me, I would always say, next. No time to sit around and glorify ourselves. Oh, we have decided this point. Very nice. We are very good. We made a point. Everything's clear. Next! What's next? All right, finish. Get out. Get to work. I remember Srila Prabhupada. It was July of 1971. And right after recording one of his bhajans, which I did very badly, by the way. I ruined the whole thing. That's another story. We're not going to tell you that story right now. So, Srila Prabhupada's lunch came in. So he sat down in his bedroom, where his eating place was. And so me and Pradyumna, we were sitting in the living room where we had just finished the aborted bhajan. And we were wondering what was going to happen next. It was just like something was going to happen. We didn't know what, but something was going to happen. Then all of a sudden Prabhupada calls, Harikesa, Pradyumna, come here! He said, oh no. So we walked in trembling. And Prabhupada said, hold out your hands! And we held out our hands like this, expecting to be beaten with a stick. Because that's how you do it in the schools in America. You hold out your hands like this and you get beaten with a stick. So we held out our hands like this, expecting to be beaten with a stick. And Prabhupada said, not that way, the other way. And we held out our hands like this. And Prabhupada said, put them together. Then he started filling our hands up with prasadam. All kinds of chutneys and sweets and subjis, and on top of it all, ice cream. And it was dripping all over the place. So Prabhupada didn't want to make a mess. So after he filled up our hands with prasadam, then he looked at us and said, now get out of here! We were laughing like madmen. And ran into the servants' quarters and was eating all of this, laughing like madmen. So we can see when you come in contact with spiritual master, it is not that you can just enjoy. As soon as the enjoyment is settled, now get out of here. Go do something. Don't be ridiculous. It's time to act. It's not time to sit back. We have to work. Work for Krishna. We should make this day the day that we decide we're going to double our working capacity for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We can't go out and distribute 500 books a day. We can't even distribute 500 books a year. We're so useless, all of us. So therefore we have to do something glorious, what we are doing. We can make 500 books a year. That we can do. Why not? We have to work. We can try. Do what you can do. But do it nicely, quickly, efficiently, properly. Then it will be very nice. Then all of the doubts will be slashed away. When we're working hard, then we're satisfied. When we're just doing a little here and a little there, how we're ever going to be satisfied? We'll never be satisfied. Our mind will take over and start telling us this and that and the other thing. And then we'll think, yes, 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 yes. Whatever my mind says, very good. And then we'll get into such a state when we have to call Chitteshwar. No, no, no. Before you get into such a state, you have to engage yourself. Fully, work hard for the sake of the Lord. Become fully protected by the Lord. Engage in devotional service nicely. And do not fall down under any circumstances. Just work hard. Follow all the principles. Come to the programs. They are not meant just for the bhaktas. They are meant for everybody. Come to the programs. Enjoy the association with Sri Sri Gandharvika Giridhari, Sri Sri Gaurnathad. They are there to help us. They are there ready to help us at any moment. You come to them and ask for their help. They will immediately give it. Because they love you. You are their devotee. Neophyte, but still the devotee. They're ready to help you at any moment. You just have to ask. Sincerely pray and get the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then slash all doubts, and your work will never be bound by reactions. Your work will never be bound by any reactions. Your work will be free from all reactions, and you will be able to engage nicely in your occupational duties for your whole life, and at the end, then you can lay down on the floor. Think of Krishna and die peacefully. Hare Krishna. Yes, sir. I don't remember, but I did something wrong. That might have been the time when... No, I think that was the time when I got the Rasgula. I don't really remember. I'm trying to put it together in my head so I can write it down properly, but One time I was recording, and then I put my elbow on the tape recorder, and I turned off the record switch. But it was still playing, you know. So I looked at it about 6 minutes later. Prabhupada was singing Hare Krishna. I saw the record switch was off. Then I just sat there. Now I'm finished. Prabhupada noticed. Stopped. Said, what's the matter? I said, I turned off the record switch in the middle of the kirtan, chanting. He just looked at me, stood up, and walked out. Boy, that was the end. You can't imagine. You know, no word, no chastisement, no you're a fool and rascal. At least if he said I was a fool and rascal, I would have been happy, you know. Then there was some reciprocation. Nothing. Just got up and walked out, turned his back and walked out. And there I was sitting there. Must have been for 10 minutes. I don't remember if that was the time when he called us in, or I ruined another recording. I don't remember. I might have ruined another. I can't remember. It's too many years ago. I got the whole thing all wrong. There was another time when the electricity went out right in the middle of the recording because the fuses were so bad in Henry Street. It was just ridiculous. Every time you plug something in, 5 minutes later, pop! The fuse went. You had to run downstairs, you know, get the flashlight out, find the fuse, figure out where it was, plug in a new one, run upstairs, plug it somewhere else, hope it didn't blow. You plug a toaster in that building, it would blow all the fuses. I think they had 5 amp service, and it was two brownstones, you know. 120 devotees living there. When Prabhupada there was about 450 devotees. The whole movement from the Mississippi River over was in that temple. And we had 5 amps, you know. Sorry I couldn't answer your question.
I find myself to have a very lazy nature.
Really?
Yes.
So what are you going to do about it?
Yes, so I try to push myself a little bit, but I find myself also going to such a
That's because you're lazy. Lazy men never push themselves.
So,
You want to hear what a real lazy man is? You know what the definition of a real lazy man? You want to hear it? There was a king. And he said, okay, tomorrow I'm going to have a free feast for all really lazy men in our kingdom. Anybody who's a truly lazy man can come to this pavilion and eat the feast tomorrow. So the pavilion was filled. Everybody was there, the whole place. Then the king told his chief minister, burn down the pavilion. So he put the pavilion on fire, and everything was burning up, and all the people started running like mad. Fire! Fire! Let's get out of here! Quick! Hurry! Hurry! Then the king said, who is left? And the minister said, 2 men. And he said, what are they doing? And one said, my, it's getting hot in here, isn't it? And the other said, just roll over. Then the king said, these are lazy men, feed them. These are truly lazy men. So are you truly lazy? Then you're useless. No use answering the question. Or are you just saying you're lazy? You're really lazy. Yeah, beat him up.
and that's exactly the problem, because many times there are not really so many around to push the beat. So how should I do in that situation?
If you need to be beaten up to do service, you're in bad shape. What is that? Avyartha kalatvam. The first symptom of a person in bhava. He can't stand to waste a second without engaging in devotional service. And you, what's your situation? Don't you feel rotten and miserable about that? You do. A little rotten and miserable. A truly lazy man will say, yes, but so much work after all, we'll do it tomorrow. Maybe next week. In the meantime, you're going to die. Then what? Then what? When you die, you tell Krishna, next week, I'll chant Hare Krishna when I die. Get serious. This is essential. You have to be serious in spiritual life. Don't think that you'll only die when you're old. You can die anytime. Even if the astrologers tell you you'll die when you're 80, you can die when you're 20. And then after you're dead, they'll look at your chart and say, oh yeah, there was that planet. Missed that one. Huh? Eternally. Eternally. In this body. Beat him up. He knows. He needs a good beating, this guy. Take out the shoes. Oh. You've got your millions of questions, of course. And there's no hands up, I just look at. Okay.
A lot of times, this laziness comes as soon as the situation becomes a little nice, a little comfortable. So it tends to.
You know, when we were in that temple in New York, it was terribly uncomfortable. And we used to work day and night. We used to go out on Sankirtan. Well, in those days, Sankirtan meant chanting and distributing back to Godheads. We used to go out right after breakfast. Around 8:30 in the morning, we'd be on the train, going downtown, 55th and 5th Street or something like that. And we would be chanting all day up until around 6:15 or something like that. Then we'd take the train back to the temple, take a shower quick, and have the evening program. Because in those days, going to the evening program was just like you had to do it, otherwise you were in total whack. So, some days, even in the summer, we would stay out all night too. We would go, let's say, in the Bronx somewhere or in Harlem somewhere. Harlem. I remember doing Sankirtan in Harlem, chanting down like Leonard, some I don't know, horrible speech. And all of a sudden, a huge cement block smashed right in front of me, in between the person in front of me and me. Huge cement block, just smashed. And I said, "Bruce, move it!" And we just sped down the street. Anyway, we were out up until maybe 6:30 or 7 there, and then we take the train down to Times Square. And then we would be met by all the press devotees and other devotees, and we would have maybe 140, 150 devotees out there chanting up until about 11 a night. And then we didn't mess around. All of you are a bunch of sissies. When it came time to work, we would work. I remember when we were making Prabhupada's quarters. It was myself and Parikshit Das, the artist. In those days, he was a constructor. It was before anybody knew he could paint. So, we would start. We would chant. We would go to Mangal Arati, chant our rounds, and then throw down something down the throat and start working. And we would work until about 15 minutes before Mangal Arati. For 7 days, I didn't sleep. We were just working non-stop to finish Prabhupada's quarters. 7 days, no sleep. And then when Prabhupada finally came, there were so many devotees in the temple, there was no place to sleep. So I slept on the stairs. You wouldn't believe it, I used to be strong. What a joke, look at me now, completely useless. Can't even lift up my hand. But in those days, we would just work and work and work. Nobody had to tell us. Everybody was working like mad. I remember in New Vrindavan, in Janmashtami, I was cooking. Nartamananda, Maithili, the three of us, we were cooking. We cooked from practically, I think it was 8 in the morning until 11 the next day in the morning. Just non-stop cooking. And what were all the other devotees doing? They were having kirtan non-stop. The kirtan went all night long, right up to Prabhupada's Vyas Puja. Of course, everybody collapsed completely after the feast on the next day. We were all laying outside in the sun, totally finished. But it was so ecstatic, working and just hearing that kirtan just above us. The floor was going up and down, because we installed the deities at that time. I forgot their name now. The deities in Vrindavan. We installed them on that day. So that's why the kirtan was going all night long. And everybody was working so hard. I see some of our girls here are working like that. They just work all the time. I love it. It's just like the old days. Then I look out my window and I see some messing around out there. Then I think, what is this? If I was in charge, it wouldn't be like that. Just like when we built Almond, I was in charge. I was out there with my whip. Get to work! Prabhupada was like that too. Of course, he didn't have his whip. He would just. Or Lord Chaitanya would say, "My dear friend, you were doing so very nicely," when he was doing marble. And the person would feel so miserable that he would get going again. Sometimes we need this push. But Ratna shouldn't listen to this. He pushes too much. He falls apart. He does too much. You should take vacation. Just for everybody else.
So, a lot of times, when the situation gets nice, the tendency is there to become more lazy. So, is it a solution to just avoid nice situation, nice arrangements, and in this way, getting more focused on service? Or is it simply a question of having the proper motivation?
Hard to say. Hard to say. Out of those 120 devotees in New York Temple who didn't have it nice, there's about 3 left. So I don't know if that's a good formula. But it temporarily is very inspiring. I know in Germany, most sincere devotees joined when they were in a basement in Hamburg. Then again, here in Sweden, we were in a basement in Grevgarten, and nobody joined. Then we moved out here, and 40 devotees joined, like in a year. As soon as there was Jai Sasikandavi, there was a little facility, everybody joined. It was empty. The place, there was like 7 or 11 devotees here. It was completely empty. And then within a year or 2 years, the place was filled with people.
Especially nowadays, it seems that people have a different ideal than 20 years ago or even 10 or 15 years ago. People went for renunciation and giving up all these things. But now it seems retracted into class.
Yeah, it's true. I don't know what to do about it. I think about it all the time. I think Kali Yuga has progressed.
It's very hard to explain when the concept of sanctified travel. Hard.
In Germany, I just got a report in Germany that they have 8 new bhaktas on Sankirtan, and they're all going together in bands and having morning program all together, and then they go out in the street together. And they're having a great time. They even want to buy a bus. I told them not to do that. But they're having a good time like that all together. I think that the new people who come they may need that kind of association, all-togetherness. Then they can get all together very nicely, the feeling of renunciation. Action.
And what you said that Bhagavad has been out schools of regression, and said that is not bound by regression. And what about one's activities, he is still regressed.
Then it's karma, mishra, bhakti. His devotional service is mixed with fruit of desire. It's not pure devotional service. He's not going to get a pure result.
He is still bound up with karmic reaction.
Not so much. He's still on the path of devotional service. So the power of devotional service is still there. But it's not pure. Therefore he's not freed yet completely.
What shall we do what is the only real service that will stand next to the
I think people like that should be asked to go back home or something like that. We're not babysitters. If you can't be responsible and do a service that you've been given, you're not devoted. I'll serve Krishna so long somebody's looking at me. When somebody's not looking at me anymore, then what? What will I do? Some Maya? This is nonsense. We can't fill up our temple with lazies and crazies. Better to have less, but everybody working sincerely, then the mood will be very strong. And that the people who are remaining will be very powerful. And that will attract more powerful people. But if we fill up the place with a lot of lazies and crazies, then we'll attract lazies and crazies. And the whole thing will go down. Even Muhammad said that. I'd rather go into battle with 20 fixed up Kshatriyas than an army of useless men. You learn everything then.
Once you know that some things you may not understand, some things you never understand. It's all right because I wonder if there is something which you will be related so you not understand.
Yeah, inconceivable things. Inconceivable things, whether you're liberated or not, you don't understand. You don't even try to understand. Even Brahma, he said. Somebody may be able to roll up the whole universe in his bedroll. Somebody may be able to count all the atoms in the universe. That's all right. As far as I'm concerned, I'll never be able to understand your glories. That's Lord Brahma. And who are we compared to Lord Brahma?
I'm not living in the temple, but
John, I wish you would.
yeah, I hope I will sometime.
Good.
Anyway, I went to a museum in Stockholm, and there were pictures of Krishna, and I was just wondering, is it true that Krishna is present in every picture? Because these pictures, they were like Indian or something, and I just didn't find him attractive in these pictures at all. It's not like Eastern art where it's always very attractive. So I was really worried about this.
Krishna is present in the picture according to the devotion of the painter. Just like when you cook or something like that, the devotion brings about Krishna's presence more than just simply the act. So you may not have been attracted, there may not have been any devotion, and therefore the picture was not attractive. Or maybe the painter was not doing it in the proper way according to the Shastra rules. That's possible. I've also seen pictures of Krishna which are painted in some kind of imaginary modernistic style as if he was some lusty man, which are very obnoxious. Prabhupada also couldn't stand such paintings.
What is the proper way for an authority to lovingly induce somebody who's working in the department to do more service?
You can ask the person why they're doing less service and try to solve their problems. And if that doesn't work, you can preach. If that doesn't work, you can use the foot. Lovingly applied. We don't use the foot. We use a club. Anybody who knows how nice Shri Radha and Krishna is, how nice Shri Gaurantaya, how nice Srila Prabhupada is, how nice their spiritual master is, anybody who really knows these things wants to serve with all his energy. If you don't know, then maybe there's some excuse. But if you know, you want to serve, that's natural.
And what does it exactly mean to enjoy the spiritual master or Krishna?
I didn't hear.
What does it actually mean to enjoy the spiritual master or to enjoy Krishna?
Enjoy? You don't enjoy the spiritual master.
I heard often that they told me you should never enjoy spiritual master.
You should never enjoy.
Yeah.
Sure, well, you know what that means. It's not like you have some physical relationship with the spiritual master. That's obviously gross level enjoyment, that doesn't happen. And subtle level enjoyment. Not that you make yourself some kind of associate of the spiritual master and thus try to enjoy on the subtle level that way, oh, I'm the associate of the spiritual master. Or you speak to him in such a way to get a certain kind of an answer that makes you happy. Or you act in such a way to make him obliged to you. Therefore, a spiritual master should be very careful not to accept too many facilities from certain devotees so that he doesn't become obliged to them and can't chastise them anymore. Like if accepting a monetary gift from a disciple means that you can't chastise that person anymore because you're obliged to them, then that's very bad. Similarly, the disciple should not make the spiritual master obliged to him by his gift. No real spiritual master will become obliged like that. He may be thankful and appreciative, but not obliged. So you should never try to do like that. Does that help? Very practical class today. I can't figure out why. I was trying to talk about philosophy. When I came down, I said, I'm just going to talk about philosophy. What can I do? Actually, this is... Yes. Yes.
What should the disciple do if he sees that spiritual master exhibits the paramahansa qualities of a completely loving and dedicated personality, and it makes the disciple feel very bad? But it's just thinking. So what is the proper understanding?
What do you mean heavy?
Well,
Spiritual master can do what he likes. If you don't like it, that's, well, your problem. my business. It's none of your business. We're not going to play this game. I'm useless. No, you're not doing that. Yes, I am. No, you're not doing that. It's a great game.
You can also not say yes.
Huh?
You can also not say that.
What?
Yes, it is true that you believe.
What's that? Don't say anything. Just keep your mouth shut. It's like when Madhavendra Puri was at the last stage of his life, he was saying, I have not attained Mathura, I have not attained the Lord of my life. And Ramchandra Puri said, well, if you haven't attained, you haven't become liberated yet, you should meditate on the impersonal Brahman. And Madhavendra Puri said, get this fool and rascal out of my sight! He's condemned! So obviously you have to have a little intelligence.
Laziness is in most cases a spiritual problem. Sort of slack. When one pushes this approach, that spirit is saying, this is not a good place you're at, you should do it. So, instead,
There is no balance. You should chant your rounds early in the morning, you should come to the programs, and then when you're finished, get out and work. You immediately feel like that when you chant your rounds early in the morning and you do the program, and you take prashadam, and then what? Time to work. That's what it's time to do. Then be lazy. You may not find your place yet. You may be replaced as soon as we find somebody better. I'm trying to help. Okay, Hare Krishna.